Hello folks, this is Miri from Abundance, and I just quickly wanted to make this video because I felt like this topic is not very highly addressed in the Waterfall movement or in the 80-10-10 movement. I want to talk about weight gain, which is caused actually on the lifestyle, but don't get me wrong, it's not about that the foods are not good for you. That will never be the case, but that you can do too much, that you still can live unhealthy and damage your metabolism even when you're eating the optimal foods, which are carbohydrates in my opinion. Yeah, the thing is, where do I start? I want to start with my own story, what I experienced in the last few months. Yeah, so it all began that I increased my exercise. So I actually increased it that much that I actually didn't even notice that it might be too much. And in the end, it was far too much. I didn't even go for exercise because I thought, oh yeah, you want to get leaner, or I just really thought it would be healthy and the best thing that I can do. And obviously exercising is very healthy and is one of the best things you can do besides a diet, but the problem was I just really the emphasis on exercise was too high. The emphasis that I put on the emphasis that I put on exercise, and in that moment, it started in January, I think, or February, I think, end of January, when spring was coming and the weather got better, and I just felt so energized. I just felt like, oh, I've got so much energy, I have to go out, I have to exercise. Like, it's not enough to walk for me to go for a walk. And so I really messed it up. Well, my exercise routine, and it didn't feel wrong to me. My exercise routine was like daily, really daily, for really 2 months. I didn't have any rest day, not at all. And then, so daily sport per se is not bad, right? You should move your body daily instead. So, but what was wrong then? So the problem was that I did very, very intense training every day. I went for a run, and I really mean for a run. So I really had very intense sprints every time in it, because at that time I actually watched videos done by Freely, where she says those high intense sessions really transform my body even further. And I was like, oh, okay, I want to have those high intense sessions too. But what I did wrong, well, I knew that Freely wasn't doing it every time. She actually emphasized it in her video that she only does it like once a week. And for me, I just thought, okay, I listen to my body, and well, I actually feel like exercising pretty hard. And I felt like that every day, and that is why I didn't notice that it was too much for me. And so it was the frequency that was a problem for me, and like combined with the intensity. And the third thing is, yeah, like the volume. Like every time I went out for exercising, it was at least an hour of intense exercise, but often it was 2 hours. And that, like, when I look back, I think, oh my gosh, how could this happen? I didn't do that much training before. I didn't even think I have to when I started this. It just got a routine of mine that I couldn't get rid of. I wouldn't say I was addicted. I really wouldn't say that. It was just like, I felt like, oh, my body is so fit and I'm so healthy. And it was like the highest on the vegan high carb lifestyle that I had been feeling so far. And that was the reason for me to say, that was justifying that, oh yeah, I can go like Harley. Like, I was thinking, oh, I can do the same. I'm as fit as Harley. Like, not really. I did not really think that, but I just physically I felt like doing so. And what I totally didn't think of was that my body is just not able to do that yet. My body is not as fit as I felt it would be, if that makes sense. I thought it was fitter than it already was. Because training and physical, like muscle building and getting fit takes a lot of time. And actually I knew that, but I just kind of, it wasn't in my head when I started doing it and while I was doing it. Then I got really, really bad symptoms. I got really, really bad a really strong heartbeat, like after every meal. And it turned out when I went to the doctor that I have blood sugar issues. He told me I'm diabetic actually. So that kind of shocked me. And immediately I knew it's not because of my diet. Because I just love and I trust and I totally believe in this diet. But I knew something's wrong with my body. Something's seriously wrong. And well, I got this strong heartbeat and I just kind of started, every day I started to feel like very, very fatigued and very, very like not in myself, not very, like my mind wasn't clear anymore as well. And what I also noticed in that time, and that is the thing, like that's the point of this video, is that I gained weight. When I was, before that time period, before January, I was slimming down. Like I haven't been fat before, not at all. I was always slim. But when I still had a little bit of fat that was necessary for my body. So I actually lost that before that period of overtraining. And when I was overtraining, without noticing it, I actually gained weight. And I don't weigh myself, don't step on the scale, but I just saw it in the mirror. And I felt it in the clothes that I wear. So it was very, very obvious that especially like my abdominals weren't there anymore, and like my belly was, it shaked when I jumped in front of the mirror. And I actually just couldn't understand it, and to be honest, it really annoyed me as well. So I was like, this lifestyle, what's that? I have been leaning out so far, so what's happening now? I just didn't want it, right? No one would want it. And I just didn't understand it. And that's why I started thinking, okay, what am I doing wrong? And I actually didn't eat any like over fat at all. I hadn't cheated either. Then the symptoms got worse and worse. I crashed at a certain point after 2 months. I just totally crashed down. I had such a physical burnout, and it really, like, I couldn't do anything anymore. For 2 weeks I was just mainly just laying in bed, and like I felt like something really crashed me down. And at that point, I just knew something seriously, it can't go on this way. So I googled myself to death. I didn't find anything in other videos from high carbers, but actually I did. But this one actually changed his diet to more fatty and protein-rich products, and I knew that was not the solution. So I knew the cause was something different, and what I came across with, and what it actually is right now that I have since then, is adrenal fatigue. And I got that confirmed by a saliva test that I did, and I sent it to a laboratory, and it showed that my adrenals actually produce not enough cortisol anymore, because they're exhausted. They had to produce too much cortisol when I was overtraining, because I did intense training every day, and like for 2 hours a lot of the times. And I think this thinking that I had when I started overtraining is a lot more common than we know. Like I think I'm really not the only one who thinks, or not anymore, but when I was thinking, oh, I can do anything, I'm gonna exercise, like I'm gonna get so fit, and I'm gonna get so like so shaped and stuff, and yeah, and then we do too much. We do things in an amount that our body is not used to and that our body is not trained for. And that is why I make this video to to make you aware of that phenomenon. Yeah, that's what I noticed too. Physically, after a very short time already, I actually noticed that my muscles are not that strong. They do not feel as strong. And physically, I didn't feel like, oh yes, I just want to go out. But it was mentally. Mentally, I felt like, oh, yeah, it was because of all the sugar, because of all the energy that my body got inside that wanted out, right? And that is why we eat for. But and that is what we eat for. But if your body is in a state, in a kind of untrained state, and I had been doing sport before, it was not like it was the first time I was running, not at all. But yeah, like just think about the intensity, the frequency, and the volume you do, and don't force it. And I know it's hard to say now, listen to your body, because I actually tried to do it, and I just noticed the energy, but I didn't think of the other parts of my body, like the muscles, the muscles mainly, and that my stamina, my condition, right? So yeah, I think that is very important. What I ended up with now is, as I said, adrenal fatigue, and that takes months, like all hormonal issues, or also years. I met a friend of mine, it took him 2 years. I have a video with him, an interview with him in that video, and really don't underestimate it. It really is, adrenal fatigue is very, very long. It takes a long time to solve it, and it's like I'm still fatigued during the day, and my longing for sleep, my need for sleep is so high. I actually sleep 12, 13 hours in the night, and that is a bit much. But when it was worse, I actually slept like 15, 16. So it really got better, but it will take a long time to get my metabolism, to get it back to the fit state. And it's really it really concerns me, because it's my own fault, right? As every metabolic damage is our own fault. I did eat healthy in that time of overtraining, but that still doesn't mean you can't do too much. You cannot stress your body too much, because that is what adrenal fatigue is about. You can get adrenal fatigue when you are too stressed over a certain time, over too long time. So, and when you're stressed, the adrenals produce the cortisol, and when it doesn't have any break, no rest days or something, not enough recovery, then you can burn out your adrenals, pretty much. Yeah, if you have questions to adrenal fatigue or something, or to my overtraining, just post it down below, and I'll see you in the next video.